Bitcoin is down. Everyone wants to know what's going on. Well, don't take my word for it. Let's just go ask one of the biggest guys in all of crypto, CZ, the founder of Binance. He recently was on a podcast with Alex Thorne, and he had some things to say. First, he thinks that we're in a normal cycle and the 4-year cycle is accurate. But then he explains what his selling strategy for crypto is. Take a listen.
So yeah, I think the 4-year cycle is actually pretty accurate. I think it's a pretty normal cycle. You retraced about 50%. I think like we've seen worse. We've seen like 80% retracements in previous cycles.
Yeah.
And if you look at the current low, 4 years ago, I was just talking with somebody else earlier today. 2022, around this time was probably the UST Luna crash. That didn't hit the bottom. The FTX crash later on in November hit the bottom, was like 16K. So we're still like, 4 or 5 times higher?
Yeah.
So if you compare the lows, there's still 5x increase in the 4 years. So so I think it's a normal cycle, but every cycle is higher.
Yeah.
So over the long term, no, I'm a very long term. I'm not going to exit. There's no exit in crypto for me. So I think it's just a normal cycle. Yeah.
So there you have it. I tend to agree with CZ. I've actually changed my mind on this. The 4-year cycle, I used to think, that's kind of like, astrology for men. Why should 4 years, every 4 years have some sort of impact? But now, look, you just got to look at the data. Halving happens, 18 months later, we go and we actually hit the top of a market, and then we get some big drawdown. Maybe the drawdown isn't 80, 85%, but it's still a big drawdown. And so that 4-year cycle, until I see data that suggests otherwise, I'm going to keep looking at that. But the more important thing to me in CZ's comments was the fact that he's saying, where is the exit from crypto? I think that CZ has almost no cash. He's just basically allocated to crypto. That's how he runs his life. That's how he invests. That's all of his exposure. And so from that standpoint, the question becomes, where are you going to go? If you sell Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, what are you going to do? Go buy AI stocks? Are you going to go and you're going to put it in the US dollar? Some good ideas out there. There's some bad ideas out there. But what I do know is capital rotation is real. And there is a very objective analysis that shows capital from Bitcoin has gone into the AI trade. But guess what's going to happen in the future? At some point, people are going to make so much money in AI, and they're going to get bearish. They're going to think that there's not a big return there. And they're going to sell that profit, and they're going to rotate it right back into Bitcoin and gold. And my guess is that that is going to be one glorious moment for all of us.